So one of my favourite conversations in education at the moment is behaviour choice, and I think this is a really important thing to be discussing. And I think it comes down to, where does the behaviour originate? We've all been up against those different behaviours, whether it's defiance, refusal, aggression, withdrawal, avoidance, and they all come for me from different places. And we've got to look at those, each one, and give it the context that it deserves. There will be those young people that fly off the handle. They go 0 to 60 in the blink of an eye. And it's an immediate short-term survival response for those young people. And it's not in control. And the reality is they possibly don't even remember those behaviours. And we have to understand that, because we've got children up and down the country being excluded for behaviours that they don't remember and they weren't in control of. So we have to look at those in the context that they deserve. Then there will be some young people where things are a bit slower and things build up and they build up and they build up and then they overflow. And we can relate to it as adults because we've all been in that position. The difference is when we're in a position of frustration, which becomes annoyance, which becomes agitation, which becomes anger, then we know what to do to stop that from reaching its natural conclusion, which will often be aggressive behavior. But if for a child that hasn't had that co-regulation, that hasn't been taught those skills, then they aren't going to be able to prevent that from reaching that end destination. And that's where we come in, and we've got to co-regulate first with the hope that we can then teach the child to self-regulate second. And then the third, and possibly the most important origin of some of that challenging behavior, is the long-term survival. It's where the behavior as choice argument really starts to gather some speed. It looks premeditating. It looks like it's been done to work avoid. It looks like it's been done because they're lazy or they don't want to do it. When in reality, actually, what we've got there is a young person that has developed a survival strategy based around avoidance for their own safety and survival. If you are a young person that lacks that resilience, if you are a young person that lacks self-esteem, if you are a young person that's filled with shame, then where does your optimism and belief that you can be successful in a classroom come from? And when you've previously used aggression as a tool, if you've previously flown off the handle and things like that, then that's going to get you into lots and lots of trouble. So it's much more important that you don't get caught out, you don't get found out, and that's where long-term survival strategies come in. We all as adults have the option to avoid. Our young people don't have this luxury. They have to come to school, they have to go to class, they have to do the work that's allocated for them. So rather than be found out by their peer group, rather than risk rejection, risk humiliation, risk looking stupid, then surely avoidance is a better alternative for those young people. And what's the only way that they can guarantee that they can avoid those things? Well, if I misbehave and I get sent out, then nobody knows I'm stupid. I won't be humiliated. I won't be rejected. And actually, what we're talking about here is logical self-preservation for our young people.